This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts in 3 Counts.
Cover! We got a new world champion!
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts in 3 Counts is the podcast leading to the real deal, baby!
Knockouts in 3 Counts starts now.
Ooh, what up, no? It is Tuesday. It is Mania week. I look like I got my ass beat even worse than I did when I got knocked out with this damn jaw surgery. It is Knockouts in 3 Counts. I'm in the building, and we've got a very special guest before we all link up in Texas. I'm looking forward to it this week. We got the return of our boy, Shane Taylor. How you doing, man?
What's good, boys? How's everybody doing? Good to be back. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, I told you, you're part of the fam at this point. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to seeing how you and O'Shea end up out there with the Hitmakerz, man. I mean, some bitch, dude, like people were pretty stoked about it, and we've talked about this off the air, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next for you. What's next for you guys as a whole? You know, as anybody who's watched this knows, Shane's a multiple past guest. You know, we've also had the Soldiers SOS on there. So, like I said, man, I am looking forward to Dallas. So, how are you feeling about Mania Week as a whole? Like, what is your mindset? And, you know, how are you feeling about the matches that are booked for you? Because we are going to talk about those a little bit.
Mania Week, I know for all the excitement, for all the fans that are coming through, the spectacle that it's about to be, it's just another work week for Shane T, dog. It really is. This is what I do. I'm a professional wrestler. This is, you know, just a big week. It's just more eyes, you know, more ears. It's a bigger platform, but like we were talking about off air, you know, I'm built for moments like this. I'm built for these bigger platforms. I'm built for the big matches. I'm built for the big money fights. So I'm excited, you know, really looking forward to For the Culture, looking forward to VIP, looking forward to everything that I'm on. Obviously, big year, you know, we're going to be at WaleMania. We're going to be at the Mania Club. Hell yeah. We're going to be at the Mania Club, tailgate for those 2 days, the 2nd and the 3rd. So STP is going to be all over the place. It's going to be a good time to be able to open some more eyes, open some more ears, and close some more mouths. It's what we do.
Like the catchphrase there.
I mean, this guy can talk with the best of them if you ain't caught up.
I was about to say, man, you know, a lot of people go in there like, oh, the pressure's on, man. This dude feels no pressure. That's what I'm talking about, man. That is what I'm talking about.
I've been doing this too damn long to feel pressure. You know what I mean? This is everything with me now is expected. You know, I was just having a conversation with a buddy of mine. He was asking, you know, when what you start to do and when you're at such a level that people see your greatness and it becomes then commonplace to them. I told him, as opposed to being upset about that, you should understand that they've just now accepted the fact that your greatness is commonplace. Like they expect that from you. Your greatness has now become average to them, right? When someone then competes at your level, it's seen as a bigger accomplishment because they're not used to seeing that from them. So at this point, I expect greatness from myself. I expect greatness from everybody in STP. And I think for a long time, people just saw us compete at a level regularly for so long that I think they're going to be able to see what we do this week and remind them of just who the hell we are.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up greatest, but this has got to be arguably the greatest weekend in indie wrestling every year, right? With all the matches and everybody in one town and just the attendance that everybody gets because of it. So, I mean, what makes you most excited, I guess, going into the weekend, like events-wise and such?
Obviously, you know, For the Culture comes up first and foremost. It's the first event that we're doing. One of the biggest matches that people are talking about, myself and O'Shea Edwards, the Big Bad Kaiju, against the Hitmakerz. You got B-Fab, who's going to be out there with formerly known as Top Dollar, AJ Francis, aka Frankie Baby, and you got Tahuti. I don't remember what his other name is. I'm sure he's probably going to be upset, try to punch me in the face for it. I don't care. This is what I signed up. This is what I signed up for. So, with as much buzz as that match has been garnering, with as much talk that's been going back and forth, I've seen the diss track that AJ put out. It was cute. It was funny. Me and the boys had a good laugh. And overall, it was actually pretty positive, for being a diss track. It wasn't really, I don't feel like I was really I was disrespected. He kind of just told people who I am, and how we sort of mirror each other, which is very much true, and then of course you got the response by O'Shea. And, I love when O'Shea gets pissed off, because when he lets it fly, man, he's very entertaining. And, he let people know.
Video he put up last night.
So fun. So funny, because it's like, we don't rap. We're not singers. We're not dancers. And yes, it's all entertainment. Yes, it's all pro wrestling. It all falls under that category. But, at the end of the day, there's once that bell rings, dog, there's no more 808s. There's no more hooks. There's no more, chorus. There's no more, none of that. You're going to have to throw hands. And we happen to be some of the very best in the world at doing that. So all the pressure is on AJ, right? Because he was supposed to lead his team to glory, up there. That fell apart, so now he's here. All of the his image, his reputation that precedes him, he's got to live up to these expectations. He's got to live up to the reputation he's made for himself. He's been successful in every other aspect of his life. The problem is we weren't in every other aspect of his life. We weren't in the NFL to beat his ass. We're going to be in that ring on April 1st, right? So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Then, of course, the match that I've been waiting over 14 years for, myself versus Low Key for the VIP World Championship.
Hell yeah.
It's another one, man. I've watched.
Is that one going down again?
VIP Mania is April 3rd at 11:59 p.m. The show starts at midnight. It's right after Mania, going into the 4th. And all of the information for that will be on my social medias as well. It's going to be a hell of a time. I truly think it's the very last event of the weekend. And dude, there's no better way.
I say that because I think me and Rand are going to have to come through there, because I'm going to be with him all day Sunday, because he doesn't even get into town until Sunday. So he'll be with me at night too. I feel like that might have to be the move after this motherfucker, man.
Let's do it, man. I feel like the very last thing people are going to see from that weekend is going to be me versus Low Key, and we're going to leave a lasting impression, that hopefully lasts, all the way till next Mania. So I've watched that dude destroy people for my entire career, for his entire career. I've watched tape. I've watched him in Japan. I've watched him buzz through Ring of Honor when it was in its golden era, right? And I watched people stand up to him and then cower down in front of him. I've watched, some of the baddest get put down. And my only thought has been every single time that I've seen him that he wasn't standing across the ring from me, and I don't give a damn about anybody's reputation prior to proving it to me. I don't give a shit. Right. So we are going to be able to test just who really is the baddest, who really is, the most dominant guy in professional wrestling. And I can't wait, because I'm going to knock his block off. I'm telling you.
I don't know. What do you think, J-Bone? That might have just been my biggest one. I'm excited for outside of going to the big shows.
That might be your last one before the flight, dude. I know. Are you going to Raw the next night?
Dude, we're staying. Well, that was the thing. So Rand was supposed to be with me all week. The reason why Devin's going for free is Rand gave him his other ticket because he can't get in there. So he doesn't get there till Sunday. So yeah, we're staying. He's coming tonight too, and then we're gonna go to the Raw after, and then I'll come home
There
Tuesday.
you go. Hell yeah. Well, it sounds like at 11:59.
I know where you'll find me. Anybody who's listening to this is going to be in the WrestleMania area.
Mm-hmm. That is going to be some physical shit right there.
How do you feel about the matchup, though, bro? Because when I saw that, I've been a big low-key fan for years, so I already know what time it's going to be when this goes down. What about you, dude? Because I know you know plenty with low-key as well.
Man, I'm telling you, like I said, don't expect, and no disrespect, don't expect the wrestling match there. That's going to be a fight, dude. That could be one to keep your eye on at the end of that weekend right there. That is going to be some physical shit right there.
You said it.
How can I watch that one? How can I watch that one?
I believe that is live on if it's not title match, then it's IWTV. One of those.
I'll find out for you.
I feel like one of those two run everything.
Take my money.
Like it's gonna be fun, and that's what I look forward to, man. Like I tell people all the time, like I'm not a catch can specialist. I don't give a shit about the intricacies of this grappling hold. I could give a fuck, man. Like I'm standing there to throw hands and punch people in the face, put folks to sleep, and get paid. You know what I mean? If you want to prove who the greatest wrestler is, go wrestle some of these other bitches. I don't care. You want to stand there and go toe to toe with the fucking man, you come see me.
I like it. See, now we could just end it right there, but there's so much more to talk about. Some bitch, talk him into the seats. Why don't you? But here's the question for you.
Dude, he's breaking in.
No, hell no, man. Like, so here's my question. We've heard you mention it a couple times in mentioning, obviously you and O'Shea are going against the Hitmakerz, stuff like that. How do you feel the landscape of STP is going to be with like Khan doing his thing over there a little bit with AEW? Moses is out doing his thing, both singles and tags and all that stuff. Do you foresee that you guys still stay as tight if you guys all don't end up in the same promotion once, you guys get picked up? Because I'm not going to lie, dude. I said, and you can go and look at our Twitter, which you can at KO3C Pod. I said this as soon as they brought up the whole thing, the Super Card of Honor and all that stuff was going on, dude. If one of these companies doesn't pick you guys up, or a couple of you guys, or the whole group as a whole, I mean, I feel like that would be a lost cause. So with everybody kind of all over the place right now, do you find it hard for you guys to kind of stay as tight since you're not doing as many appearances all in one place now?
No, and it goes to the same effect that people thought, with me and Ray Rowe or me and Keith Lee. Like, I talk to my guys daily, right? Like, I talk to Ray Rowe every single day. I talk to everybody in STP every single day. If we're not, talking about game plan stuff, we're talking about business moves, or we're talking about promo stuff, or we're talking about, like, every day I'm trying to help my guys get better and vice versa. And we've said it, from the gate. If we all end up in the same place, great. If not, it's still going to be STP everywhere outside of wherever we're at. And you're still going to see the influences in everybody's game from each other, because we're not going to let each other fail. So we are going to push each other to be better. And actually, the scary part about it is, if we're all in different places, we're only going to get that much better, that much faster, because then we're going to be competing against each other. And when we're our own competition and we're our only competition, good luck to everybody else, man. Good luck to everybody else, because I promise you are going to have fucking dogs in your locker room, and they are going to absolutely hunt down anybody that you put in front of them. So, I actually want someone to make the mistake of not breaking us up, but putting us in different spots and watching what happens, because then we'll just take everything all at once.
I like it. You're talking about, hey, yo, Cody kind of sounds like when the NWO came around. Hot damn. Like I say, man. So with that being said, man, I'm really looking forward to those matches. But for you, I guess another one of the questions I have when it comes to Mania week is, like, everybody's been asking about Ring of Honor and Super Card of Honor, and now that they've got Tony Khan owns it and all that stuff, your guys' name continues to come up as a name in a group, since you guys are straight from Ring of Honor, that you'd have thought might have been right over there and on the look. So what are your thoughts with Tony Khan picking up Ring of Honor? And if something ever happened to where they tried to bring you in for that kind of stuff, is that something that you're kind of open to doing?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to the reigning faction of the year. You know what I mean? So you would think that that when people talk about ROH or you talk about some reimagining or something like that, that we'd be involved. But as it stands, like what people don't understand about this sport is very little of it has to do with who the best talent is, right? Very little of it. A lot of it has to do with who's shaking whose hand, who's kissing whose ass, or who's friends with who, or who's got this relationship with who, right? And us being who we are individuals that you're not just going to talk crazy to, which most CEOs and people in power like to do. They like to talk down to people. They like to talk to people like they're beneath them. We don't stand for that shit. We are people who speak our mind. We are professional. But we are not people that you're just going to take advantage of and talk to any kind of way, right? And for some people who get in positions of power, who like having that and throwing that around, that rubs them the wrong way because they don't get to fucking be big badass, right? And when those people start making decisions, especially when it comes to roster stuff, obviously people that they don't like might not be in the equation, right? So as it stands right now, I do believe with the AEW connection, Khan may be there, and congratulations to him. And I hope that works out beautifully for him. But the rest of STP will not be there. We will be at For the Culture. We will be at the various shows there. But we will also be at other places too, just continuing to put faces to names and continuing to figure out what's next for us, So to all my guys that do go back there, and this is just to the rest of the roster, to all my guys that are going to go back there and be there, I wish them nothing but luck. I hope they show out. And as far as Tony getting it, congratulations to him. They've got in archive footage alone, millions of dollars worth of product that I'm sure, when other people come calling for the best ofs and all the video footage, they're going to be able to piece out and, make probably more than what they spent on it. I think that with the people that they have involved, with the Regals, with the Danielsons, with people with the Punks, all those guys, they're going to be able to sort of bring some of that Ring of Honor nostalgia back, which is going to be good. I hope it becomes a place where people can grow and have true opportunity. And if it does, then, they've got all the pieces in place to do something special with it. So we'll see.
So for you, with that being said, since you said you guys aren't going to be at Supercard of Honor, like as you've gotten back out there on the indies and you guys have been doing all this stuff, is there any one place that anywhere in particular that like sticks out to you? Like that are like, hey, I got my, I like what I'm seeing in this place, or that might be somewhere that I might want to land, or is it kind of just you're, rebuilding? Because in a way, now that you're back out on the indies, man, it's given you an opportunity to kind of rebuild things the way you want them to be portrayed. I mean, we've talked about it, when we were talking about Ring of Honor before, with you being there and you're in the company, you got to go by what they say too. Now that you guys are all back out on the indies, I feel like now you've got free reign to kind of do what you want and kind of leave the message that you want. So with that being said, I mean, is there anywhere in particular that you'd like to see or end up?
I think what it is now is a reintroduction of who we are to the rest of the independent world. People were able to see what we were doing on ROH, and a lot of people were like, okay, well, let's see what it's like up close. Now they get to see that. And there are some great independents all across the world. Like, obviously you've got your AAWs in Chicago, you got your West Coast pros, you've got, where else? You've got your PWGs that pop up. You've got, your Defies in the Northwest. You got your Beyonds and things of that sort. So all of the big indies, I definitely want to hit. And then you look at, sort of those mid majors that are right above those. And this is not to disrespect anybody. It's just what it is. Obviously, we're doing, Game Changer this week. And then you look at places like MLW with the talent that they have. You've got your Hammerstones, you've got your Fatus, you've got your Danny Limelights in the 50, 150. You've got all kind of people that I feel like we could match up with your judges. All kind of people that we could match up with and absolutely, put on one hell of a show, tell a hell of a story, make a lot of money with. So anywhere that's got the balls to push the envelope, anywhere that's got the guts to let us be us and stop being, scared of what some out of touch old people, might not like. We want to be able to come in there and absolutely help, change the game for them, be star players, be key players, and really make it happen.
And that's the thing with this whole thing. I feel like there's been like this vibe. I feel like ever since everybody's been moved, there's been so much movement with people leaving companies, people going this place, that place, going to 3 places at one time. I feel like the biggest thing that's been crazy to me on social media is you still see so much of the people who are like shitting on somebody going one place versus this place versus this place. Like, to me as a fan, if you're watching this and you're watching it for what you really want to watch, I mean, dude, I feel like right now you have one of the best chances to see some of the most unique matchups you're ever going to see. Because if you think about it, I can't remember a time in at least since WCW got closed down where at one time you had so many people that were just freed and up on the market, and everybody being out on the indies or, those that went to Impact or whatever. Like, dude, the matchups that can be created right now, I feel like are like things that we've never seen. So what are your thoughts on that? I feel like social media, as we all know, can be toxic, but I mean, that's the biggest thing that's exciting to me with all this stuff is because, like you said, until you do decide wherever you want to go, I mean, there's so many different matchups that you can have, not even counting the ones we just talked about with, Low Key and the Hitmakerz and all that stuff. So how do you feel about what I was saying with the landscape and stuff right now?
It's funny to me, right? Because I believe so many people think that, like, unless you're signed to a major, you can't make a living as an independent wrestler, which is the furthest thing from the truth, right? Like, I had someone tweeted me the other day, like, well, good luck paying your mortgage. I'm like, do you think I'm not working? Like, do you think like I'm not making money? Is that what you believe? Do you believe that because some head of a company isn't blessing me with his benevolence that I'm not earning an income, that I'm not taking care of my family? Kiss my whole fucking ass, right? Like, I was grinding for 10 years, for 8-9 years prior to Ring of Honor. I know how this goes, right? This is nothing new to me, right? And what I don't understand is, like, if somebody's favorite wrestler goes, to X company that may be smaller than the other, look, he's over here. So what? He's got a fucking job. Who cares? He's providing for his family. You still get to see him on TV. He or she still get to do what they do. The fuck are you bitching about? What are you mad about? Right? There's only so many spots in WWE. That's it. There's only so many spots in AEW. I don't care how many people they sign. There's only so many spots that can be filled for TV, that can be filled on social media. Like, there's only so much time. Like, you can sign 1,000 people. If there's only time for 50, there's only time for 50. You see what I'm saying? The other 950 need to figure out something something to do, right? So I think it's utterly ridiculous when people start trying to like knock somebody or knock companies or whatever the hell it is, because at the end of the day, they're providing an income and an opportunity for your favorite wrestlers to continue to live their dream and provide for their families. And that's really all anybody should be worried about. And the fact if they're still entertaining them, that's it.
I think that sums it up, Corey. I mean, because we've been talking about that on the show for like the last few weeks, man. It's just like the way you see social media, dude. Like I say, social media can be such a great thing. But like I was just talking about this with past guests of the show, Gil Gordado, man. I watched a video of I'm forgetting his last name. Damn it. Oh my God. Who were we just talking about, Corey, that beat the shit out of that guy in Extreme Couture? The guy that was talking tough on Twitter. Damn it.
Chris Curtis?
Yes. I could not think of the last name and I didn't want to butcher it. But I mean, dude, that's what's crazy. Yes. So he was talking shit on Twitter and said that he'd show up to the gym and homie had no gas. Is just getting lit up, and then to the point where like Chris Curtis, who is like the most mild-mannered dude you're going to find, fucking goes either put your gloves on or get the fuck out of the gym. Like I was just there training, in August. Like I say, you look at shit like that and social media has made so many cats think that they could just say whatever. But it's like you said, you think that do you think you're not making money? Hell, last night when I was watching Raw, I literally said, it's dope the Steiners are going into the Hall of Fame, but I still can't believe when they're talking about legacy, how they keep denying the whole Braun and Rick Steiner thing, even though you already had him come out to the ring. And the kid tweets and goes, oh, well, aren't you watching the show? They did mention the Steiners. I said, did you not read my tweet? I said Nobody didn't mention, and that's my whole point. Like, that's what I fucking hate about social media and all this shit, because you just assume off of what you think you see, and you don't know shit.
Here's the other thing that I hate about it, right? No matter what you say, people don't respond to what you said. They respond with whatever you said made them feel, right? And I go, dog, I'm not here to combat your fucking feelings. I'm not. I don't give a fuck what you feel, right? If I say the sky is blue and your whole life you lived in Seattle and it was always gray and it made you feel sad that the sky was gray, I don't give a fuck. Move cities, right? That doesn't change what I said about the sky being blue, right? It's a factual fucking thing, right? Clear skies, sun out, sky blue. It's 1 + 1, right? So whatever people say, they automatically respond with emotion, right? Like whatever is invoked, they respond. Well, you must have meant, no, I meant exactly what the fuck I said. Not your paraphrase, not fucking not however you want to rephrase what I said. No, I said exactly what I said. And if you can't combat that, shut the fuck up, right? Because it's just entirely ridiculous. People have lost the ability to actually communicate. And now it's just, well, you need to say what I envision you saying and what I think you should say, or there's a problem. And when you start doing that to people and trying to control people in that way, you're going to get pushback. And we also live in an era where people think nothing that they say has consequences on social media. And I'm telling you, I'm letting people know right now. Pat McAfee said it best, right? With social media and with quarantine, everybody was in the house safe in their own four walls and behind their screens. You are going back out into the public. You are going back out into the public. There are people in public who do not care that you think you're safe. They will punch you in the fucking mouth for being disrespectful. It happened. We just saw it.
It's a fact.
We got to talk about that.
Listen,
we got to talk about that in 1 second.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. There are people out there who will punch you in the fucking mouth for being disrespectful. So you may want to watch what you say.
I think Donald said it best, man. Like that, especially on wrestling Twitter, that is a very, very toxic space as much as it connects everybody. But the fact is, not enough people just sit back and enjoy this shit, dude. This is probably the best ever time to be a wrestling fan. Think of the options right now. It's amazing. And you still
there are
see people
so many people
their
employed. So many people have jobs. There's so like y'all were just saying, the matchups, who's gonna go here. It's exciting. You know, it's unpredictable. And when it's unpredictable, that's when wrestling is at its best because people are on the edge of their seats. And it's just like, I don't understand why so many people just want to fucking piss on the parade. Like, I don't get it. Like, someone was saying, like, nobody hates wrestling more than wrestling fans. And it clicked on me. And it was like, yo, that may be one of the truest things I've ever fucking heard. Right? Because if you're a college football fan, you may hate the way that the tournament's set up. You may hate, you know, some of the scandalous shit they got, but you love college football. You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, or you love the NFL, or you love the NBA, but wrestling is the only thing where it seems like people that are supposed to be fans hate this shit. And it's just like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Talking about wrestling fans, man, we got another guy. Like I said, we got an action-packed show for you. You know, me and this dude been traveling all over the place to Vegas and SummerSlam and all this shit. We'll be down there in Dallas for WrestleMania. But speaking of wrestling fans, know Xavier Woods' theme over there. It's the homie, the one and only Megaran. How you doing, brother man?
What up? What up?
What's good? Yo, I heard Shane in here dropping fact bombs. What's good?
Hey,
bro?
dog. All I do is throw bombs. You know what I'm saying?
All you do, man. Yo, you are right. There's nobody that hates wrestling like wrestling fans do. Like, you think about it. If you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and they go through some terrible things. You know what I'm saying? But you are diehard to the end. You're gonna like support that team and their decisions, and their players become your players. You're saying we this and that and that. But there is none of that in pro wrestling. It's like, nah, they suck. They stupid. You know, people will spend their money to go to an event and then just to kind of trash talk it.
Money literally just to hate on it, man. Just
to hate.
It's wild. Here's the thing, though, too, right? Wrestling has always been a microcosm of society. Right. And as tribalistic as wrestling has become on social media, it very much mirrors the outside world. Right. So like it. And here's the thing. None of these CEOs, none of the people that run these companies give a damn about y'all like that. And I'm not saying that like they don't like appreciate you watching and spending your money, because of course they do. But as far as like the drawing the line in the sand and going to war over whoever you think is the best, they don't give a fuck. They don't care. They don't care, right? As long as you're enjoying it and having fun, that's really all that matters, man. So enough. Like, this company versus this company. If you like them, you must hate them. Fuck, it's all stupid. All of it.
Just love it all,
You're
man.
not lying,
Appreciate
dude.
the time.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
And
so
if you don't like it,
shut the fuck off.
Scroll. Fucking change the channel. Flip to something else.
Yeah.
Focus on what you enjoy. Ignore what you don't. And then just enjoy it and shut the fuck up.
Dude, you're not kidding. Especially getting into like WrestleMania, which we're going to get into in a little bit, and give you our predictions with Megaran and get Shane's thoughts on it as well. But dude, something else that I'd love to ask all of you guys about, because I'm sure you've got plenty to say about this. What are your guys' thoughts? I'll take it away from wrestling for a minute. So we talk about people and having Twitter fingers and all that, and cats trying to talk about other people's bag and how much their money they're making. But before I get into said story, shout out to our sponsors, G3 Payroll and Tax. If you need to get your taxes done, hit up the homie Jack Gerard. We appreciate you guys. And if anybody else is looking to get a little bit of advertisement, we're always open. Shoot them DMs. But anyways, what I was going to say is, what are your guys' thoughts on all this shit with Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington? Is he a bitch for hitting him? Does Colby got it coming because he, said all this stuff about his wife and kids? Shane, Mega, I want both of your guys' thoughts, because we've given our thoughts a little bit about here, but I feel like Shane is going to have a very funny answer about this one.
Of people getting hit, I didn't think that's where you were going. I thought you were going a different route. But I honestly, I was hearing some stuff about the Masvidal Covington thing, but I don't know enough to like, to make a real.
At it a little bit
I feel like people they're dealing with. Like, I feel like people know who they're dealing with, right? So if you're dealing with a dude like Masvidal, who's a street dude, you're gonna have to and he says stuff like, "Hey, if I see this guy at Whole Foods, I'm gonna slap him still because I don't like him." You should probably take guys like that at their word. That if they say, "Hey, when I see you, it's on site," and you see him, you should probably expect he's gonna be a man of his word. Is all I'm saying. So it's again, right, wrong, or indifferent. It is what it is. That's who the man is, and you can't really fault him for being true to who he is.
I mean, go ahead, Brent.
No, I totally agree. Like this leads to the other. I don't know if y'all have talked about it, but of course the other incident of
we're waiting.
We all know where it's going.
I honestly don't need to talk about it, but yeah, if the same thing. Like you are as human beings, we are like, okay, there is no room for violence in our society. Like there are sanctioned violence opportunities, you know what I'm saying, especially for trained fighters, but don't ever think that the words you say don't have consequences. You know what I mean? So that's really what it comes down to. Like there's nothing that stops you from having consequences for your words and your actions, you know? So you can say what you want. You get caught slipping at the wrong time, it might go down. Now, whether it's right or wrong is irrelevant because you still got hit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's you can't think that you're exempt from consequences when you cross a line. So that's, I think, the main idea of both of these incidents.
The First Amendment protects you from being jailed. It doesn't protect you from consequences of your fucking actions. Stop. I need everybody to understand that, right? Like, it does not give you the right to say whatever the fuck you want to say. Like, you have the right to say it. That doesn't mean that there aren't consequences following it, right? And here's the thing too, and I understand people love to throw out this, there's no room for violence in our society. I say bullshit because there are people out there who only understand violence. There are people out there who only understand getting their ass whooped. No well-adjusted, well-articulated, well-thought-out argument is going to fucking persuade them. That's what they understand, right? If someone walked in anybody's house right now and tried to hurt your family and or your kids, I guarantee you the answer to that situation is fucking violence. I guarantee you are not going to reason with a fucking criminal. You are not going to reason with a burglar. All of that went out the window the second they stepped into your fucking house, right? All of that is gone, right? You can't, if people with the military, right? If people are attacking us, is the response to say, hey, you know what, guys, we really didn't appreciate that attack and it cost us this and the taxpayers' money? No, you fuck with us, we go fuck you up, right? Like that's the society that we live in. This is a violent society. This is a violent world. Yes, do we try to be passive? Do we try to be as less violent as possible? Of course, because we're civilized. But when people start saying, oh, there's no room, bullshit. Right? Because there's then what you're going to find is the people who are violent and who are willing to take it there have an easier time climbing to the top of the ranks because nobody is opposing them. You know what I mean? So it's just you have to have that. You just have to be in control of it. The situation that we saw last night, we saw someone lose control of that. Now, I'm not here to place blame. I'm not here to pick sides. We don't know what happened and all the. I hate the fucking argument. Well, why didn't he why didn't he do this to so-and-so? We don't know what they fucking did. We don't know. For all we know, he could have seen August at the fucking house and slapped August too and said, hey, don't fucking embarrass me out here. Right? We don't know. Right? So, and there was a joke made, I think, a few years ago. Right? We don't know if Will was like, hey, Chris, look, that's your pass. Don't make another joke about my wife or on some Masvidal shit. The next time I hear it, it's on site. That happened to just be at the fucking Oscars. And he said, okay, this is where we're doing this.
Like I told him, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of people are like, well, he laughed. There's different kinds of laughs, right? Like, there's a this is hilarious laugh, and then there's a ha ha ha. Okay, there's that laugh. That means okay, now I gotta whoop your fucking ass, right? That laugh, especially when your wife is there talking about your wife, and there's nobody I know, not one man, that is going to have their wife disrespected, genuinely feel hurt, and not stand up for her, not do something to rectify the situation. And if there's any men out there that you feel like you would do differently, I dare you. Tag your wife in a post and say you wouldn't do it. See how that works out for you.
Exactly. I think that goes back to what we were saying. People think they could say things without consequence. And I guarantee you the next time something like that comes up, they're going to say, hey, I wonder if this dude's going to do anything about that. I guarantee you that.
Now, that does not mean you go up and rush comedians. It doesn't mean you go up with, like, obviously that's a bad thing. Like, we understand what shouldn't have happened, right? But we're just saying, dog, like, sometimes you got to understand, like, there's lines you should not cross. There's lines you shouldn't cross, and you should be smart enough to know that when you're speaking.
Like you said, sometimes there are consequences for your words, and that just happened to be that night.
I just feel like my biggest issue with the whole thing is, as somebody who does kind of support the comedy aspect of it, did he necessarily for sure know that it was some like degenerate?
Yeah, because it was out in the open
and stuff like that, or something.
Yeah, it was public.
It was public,
but that doesn't mean I know it. You know, Chris Rock might know more than
Chris
I
Rock
do.
is a celebrity, though. That
stuff
fucker
like that. But I mean, was that for sure something he knew going into the thought of saying the joke and stuff like that? And
I don't think he thought about that
or not.
I just think he thought that he was doing it for the comedy aspect of it. He didn't think there was going to be nothing of it. He thought it would just be laughed off, and it probably should have been. It could have been handled a completely different way. I completely get that, but we don't know where Will Smith has that right now.
But yeah, you can't say how somebody can react. Yeah.
Right.
All right, hold on. No,
he was going to spin that directly off to somebody else who was in the front row of another table and rip on their wife, their husband, whatever the case. That's just the commonplace for the Oscar host to do while they're on the stage. I get the whole defending your wife and so on and so forth. But that's, if you watch any of the award shows in years past, anytime there's a comedian on stage, that's the first thing they do is they find somebody maybe they're friends with, or maybe they're not, or maybe they're just popular in culture. Maybe he knew behind the scenes that he was going to be the one that won Best Male of the, Actor of the Year or whatever the case. So he pointed him out basically beforehand. I just feel like it was probably an overreaction. I get where you're saying defend your wife.
Possibly.
If something was actually real, yeah. But I feel like a joke, it's got to be water off a duck's back. If you're in that spot at one of the front tables, you can't take that serious.
Hold on a minute though. Hold on 1 minute though. My whole thing with this, because I've had people asking me about it all day, which is why I knew it had to be a topic up on the show. Which, hey, all you guys who are watching, I appreciate you guys. I see all the reactions, all that stuff. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, all that good shit. But so here's my thing. I'm torn on the whole thing because on one hand, I totally understand the point that Corey's saying as far as the comedian part. But you got to understand, as many of you guys who I appreciate all the love you guys had for the post I put out about Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month and all that shit, as somebody who's dealt with all the health stuff, I feel like there's some things that should be left alone. Like, Corey, you may not have known that she had the alopecia thing. That, to me, is where this is a little different. Because like Shane said, that would be like, so if I had a girlfriend or a wife or whatever and say she had Crohn's like I did or whatever the case and whatever happened, I've never been able to take that myself when somebody has made a joke about whether it be CP or Crohn's or whatever. I have, for a fact, I've thrown hands with multiple people because of that. I'd never have done well with that. So I'm just saying, if I was Will Smith, whether he backed out of what he did or not, if that's my wife and you're saying some shit like that that's out of pocket about a health issue, I can't say that I wouldn't have fucking got pretty heated myself. So I feel like it's all in the context in which it was said. But I feel like the fact that he went the hair route, I kind of feel like that was a little bit lowbrow. But at the same time, for Will to already come back out and like kind of take back what happened, the whole thing's a clusterfuck.
Right.
I don't think it's really a good look for anybody. But
no, and it's not.
I don't know.
And I'm sure he's remorseful, right? As he should be. And here's what I think a lot of people aren't factoring in too. Will Smith has had a fucking stressful few years, right? Not only just being Will Smith and all the pressure that comes with just him working, right? Just imagine if there was no bullshit, the stress of just being Will Smith, right? Then you add in all of the public humiliation, all of the, and doing his very best to not only keep his family together, but rise above that bullshit. And I mean, think about how any of us would feel in that situation. I know me personally, ain't no fucking way I come out of it with as much grace as Will Smith did. Ain't no fucking way. I know me, not gonna happen, right? So to endure all the jokes, all the memes, all the comedy sketches, everybody, like the entire world talking about this shit. Anywhere you go, that's all you hear. You got to see the same people every day. They're talking about it every day. They're friends and everybody's talking about it, right? To deal with that. And then she gets alopecia, right? Who knows how many times Jada's been, sad, upset, crying to him, what they've been going through, right? And people are like, she didn't wear a wig or anything. If she's comfortable with it for herself and that fight for her to be okay with it, that's one thing. For her to be okay with other people talking shit about it, probably not there yet.
Whole nother thing. Yeah.
That's a whole nother fucking thing.
Man, I talked to my wife about it. She's just like, you don't know the strength it takes for a woman to come out of the house with her hair shaved at all. You know what I'm saying? Like the comments, the questions, the assumptions, you know what I'm saying? But at the root of it for me, like, I'm a Will Smith fan. I'm a Philly guy. I'm maybe a little biased on this, but like, I read his book and there was a lot of talk about like him struggling with being a coward and not protecting people and the chances that he had to do that. So that's when the first thing I thought when I saw this. And there's a lot of talk about the King Richard movie and how he spoke up for the woman that plays his wife, Anjanou Ellis. He spoke up for her to get equal pay. He spoke up for the girls to get equal, like, billing, all types of stuff that he had to do. So he's like, I've been challenged, I think, in my life to speak up for women. And, and so I got to respect that. So, what he did, he did. Now, I think the response is, if anything, we can get upset with like, all right, yo, where's the security? First of all,
First off,
nobody even went up there.
If people could just roll up, like, imagine if Will decided, like, we were like, yo, this is not an assault because he just slapped him and left. But what if he just wanted to sit there and choke him for 10 minutes?
What if he just KO'd him, right? What if it was like, bam,
what if it was like closed fist, bow?
Just
like,
and, the crazy thing is they didn't cut to commercial. They didn't cut to like nothing else.
Yo, Chris Rock just had to sit there and
like,
gathering himself on live TV.
Live TV, you got to take that and try to figure out how to make this.
Here's another thing too, right? Here's an aspect that I'm really starting to be annoyed by when I see it in public, right? Is this notion that people were like, I had so much more respect for Will, and he just proved himself to be a common thug. Like, stop. That whole you thought he was the good black person. Let's fucking stop that shit right now, right? That shit is fucking ridiculous, right? At the end of the day, this is a grown ass man who was tired of fucking being disrespected. That is something that can be universally understood. Right. So this notion that somehow he's disappointed you, and like, he is a fucking public figure. He is not the parent to your fucking kids. Like, you should not have him on this fucking pedestal, nor anybody. Right. That's your job as a fucking parent, grandparent, whoever the fuck else. Like, that is, if people want to pursue acting, okay. Like, you can look at Will as a inspiration for acting, but just as a human being, like, let him be who he is. People, a lot of people forget the fact Will is a dude from Philly at the end of the day.
I mean,
he's human. He's human.
I don't care how many family movies he's done. I don't care how much he smiles. I don't care how much he doesn't curse in his raps. He is a dude from Philly at the end of the day, and there is a breaking point for fucking everybody, and he reached it yesterday.
Yeah, that was my comments on it as well. Is I mean, if anybody's looking at it under that type of microscope with the race thing involved and stuff, man, everybody's got their. Even if I disagree with what the breaking point may have been in this circumstance, everybody does, and that shouldn't be equated in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
In my
bottom line is, at the end of the day, if he would have sat there and took it and just laughed it off, we'd be talking a completely different story on how weak Will Smith is for not defending his wife. That's what people do.
Well,
you know what I
that
mean?
part.
It'd be a whole different narrative right now.
Yeah, you can't win either way. And like he's right. Like he's been talked about in the media forever, you know what I'm saying? And like he reached a breaking point. Like he's a human being. That's really what it comes down to. A human being from Philly who's been restraining himself for 30 plus years. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, everybody's got a breaking point.
I'm saying.
Hey, man.
I didn't even think about that too, Rand. Like he really has been restraining himself his whole career. Like
his whole career.
How many people has he wanted to slap his whole career? It was just like, like,
I gotta get this movie money. You know, but now he's at a point. He's so secure that,
and he was like, you know what? Fuck it, bitch. Like that was for Chris Rock caught 30 years of people slaps. You know what I mean?
That's
what that was.
I think that was Charlemagne's point too. He was like, I think just the wrong person got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, it just overflowed for him at that moment, and he was the target. So you just had to get it. Like, but that was some built up, pent up frustration, anger, disappointment. And he was like, all right, that's the last straw. You know, he's human, you know. And so, but now, I mean, I want to get more information about it, of course. But the whole like Masvidal thing, it's like, I wonder how many people are keeping that same kind of energy on that side, where they're like, hey, look, this is a guy who, you know, he heard some words he ain't like, and he went on site. So
I think the biggest difference between the two circumstances, though, is one literally had 5 rounds, 25 minutes to make a difference. That was like to your point earlier, sanctioned, legalized. Like get not only sanctioned, you're getting a fat sum of money for it to put on the show, and then he wasn't able to perform in there. So to run up, and then my issue is, if you're gonna have issues with that, square up with somebody, do what you got to do. But to run up, in the way the report sounded, he was wearing a mask, he was wearing a hood, he just kind of ran up and snuck punch him, you know.
Okay, that's different.
That's where I draw more issue with it. Like,
I can see that being
and like I said, you already went 25 minutes. There was all this build up and anticipation for the fight and stuff. And if you're just not happy with the way that it went, so be it. Like that, then that's one thing. But to like pursue it in public after the fact, you know, it's not like he said this shit after the fight and added more fuel to the flames. This was already stuff that was built in through press conferences, through media and such. All I'm saying is Colby's going to make up a lot of that pay-per-view money that Masvidal was bragging that he was about to get. That's my thoughts on the whole situation.
What up, Noah? Appreciate all you guys coming into the stream. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, all that good stuff, so you don't miss none of the action. But that's funny. It's funny you say that, because Rand, you know, last year we went out to Jacksonville. We got to go to Revolution and, you know, do all those things, dude. You know, now we're getting ready to go down to Vegas, but or not Vegas, excuse me, Dallas. That's in May. But what I was gonna say is, when we were down there, that was when the whole Aljo Peter Petroyan fight happened. Which, shout out to the American Kaiju Lindsay Snow for the tattoo. I won $150 while we was sitting in the motherfucking chair. Let's hope I can do that this time when I tattoo. Nice. God damn it! But with that being said, how are you guys feeling about that fight, dude? Because Petroyan is trying to punk the shit out of Aljo, and Aljo's telling anyone that'll listen that he thinks he's going to win. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the fuck that's going to play out. You guys got any thoughts on that one?
I'm beyond excited to see if Aljo can actually live up to my built-up expectations for him after seeing what he's done to so many of the guys in the division on his climb up to the title fight. And then to kind of lay an egg a bit in that title fight, kind of gas himself out real heavy in the first round and then just not have anything left in the tank until the inevitable, I guess, illegal blow. I want to see Aljo at his best. Whether he's going to be enough to actually get the victory, I'm not sure. But I really am a big Aljo fan, and I want to see him at least put up a solid fight. That's what I'm kind of most anticipating with this.
He has to, though. I feel like he has to at this point. He's considering what happened in that last fight and then the build up to this fight, dude, you got no choice but to show out. And if you don't, it ain't going to look good for you, man. You're going to look like a big hoe. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, but the thing is as Aljo's been out with the neck surgery and such, it's been kind of apparent that Petr Yan's like kind of shown himself to be the leader of the division if Aljo's unable to beat him. So I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing if he's not able to get this victory. It's just going to look so bad to the fans, the fans we were talking about earlier, the ones that love to hate about shit. It's going to look so bad to those guys because they're not going to take into consideration that he ran through Corey Sandhagen. He looked great in his climb up, and they're going to forget that shit because it's been 2-3 years since then.
Just like wrestling. It's what have you done for me lately?
What have you done lately? That's true.
Every time.
Yeah. And that's what makes me most anticipated for this fight. I've been waiting for it for a long time. I'm glad that it didn't happen when they originally tried to reschedule it back in October. That was way too soon for somebody coming off neck surgery. I think that was like an 8-month turnaround or something. You can't expect somebody to be at their best, and that's what I'm hoping. Like
we're gonna make it happen, brother man.
I want to see him at his best.
Word.
All right, Shane. What about you guys, man? Either one of you.
I mean, same thing, dog. Like I'm kind of just going with what y'all said. Like any sort of expectation, I think when you look at great fighters, you really just want to see them perform at their best, win, lose, or draw. Like, and then you're able to give a definitive answer on who's better, right? Like, you just don't want to see someone go out there who has all the potential in the world and then be gun shy or get gassed quick or be injured and not really be able to compete at their best. We want to see, two people at their best go at it and see who the man is, right? Or see who the woman is, see who wins, who's the best. And as long as he can go out there and display the skill that we know he has, we're gonna see, man. And I hope he's able to do that, and we'll see what the results are.
Yeah, same. I want Aljo, but we'll see, man. Like, it should be a good fight. I'm really looking forward to it.
Hey, man, I'm a fan of Aljo. I picked him to win, and like I said, I won money because of that disqualification thing, so I'm not mad about it. But that being said, it's funny with Aljo because I actually tried to get him on the show at one point because he fought one of our boys, Cody Stamen. He was not happy once he figured out that we knew who Cody was. So, Aljo, if you hear this, man, it's been a little bit of time removed, brother, man. I promise. We fuck with you on this side. But since Donald and everybody's talking about Mania weekend and all that in the comments, I got one thing left to ask you on the MMA front, Shane, because it's coming right after we get out of Mania weekend. Your Cuzzo is getting ready to step back into the cage against Vincent De Luca. So I want to know how you're feeling about Belal Muhammad versus Vincent De Luca.
Hey, man, remember the fucking name, dog. That's all I got to say, man. This dude is out here absolutely crushing it. I do believe this is a rematch from before, so he gets the chance to avenge a loss. You know what I mean? I know he's a much better fighter than he was previously. He's laser focused, ready to go. I think his fight with Wonder Boy was something that a lot of people were shocked by. Because he dominated Wonder Boy. Like, it wasn't, it was exactly what he needed it to be. And I hate the fact that so many people don't understand fucking game plans when it comes to fighting, right? Like, if I feel like you have the edge on me striking, guess what I'm not about to fucking do? Stand at your range and let you fucking tee off on me. That's what's not happening, right? So
yeah,
I'm going to close the distance.
Somebody such a specialist like Wonder Boy, that's
right.
What you have to do is go in with the game plan.
Here's what people need to understand, right? When it comes to fighting, your respect for people doesn't pay their fucking bills. It doesn't. The fucking well, they need to be blood and guts. You don't pay their hospital bills. You're not putting their kids through fucking college. None of that shit is fucking happening if they can't go out there and perform, right? So they're gonna fight smart. They're gonna win. They're gonna do what they have to do to continue to rack up these fucking fights and get this money, right? You're like, people talk as much shit as they want to. Nobody was paying Joe Frazier's hospital bills at the end of his career. Nobody, right? All the fucking blood and gut, like, nobody paid to bury Arturo Gatti, right? You can talk about all the blood and guts you fucking want. You're not doing that, right? So there's no need for these fighters to put themselves through that for some shit that doesn't really amount to anything at the end of the day, right? So that doesn't mean that they don't want to go and put on a show and give people their excitement, but at the risk of a bad game plan or a risk of everything going away, when you clearly have a strategy that's gonna work, you implement that fucking strategy. And that's what he did against Wonder Boy, dominated him, and now he's in this spot to get this rematch. And honestly, dog, like, I feel like if he's able to win this rematch, which I think he will, you have to give him a fucking big money fight or a title fight next. I don't feel like you have to be able to fucking change up this hierarchy at the top, like, because he's earned it, man. He's on like a 8, 9, 10 fight win streak or some kind of crazy shit, maybe more. Like,
he's got the longest active streak in the welterweight division.
Longest, like, come on, like, you know what I mean? Like, you've got to give him a chance to go out there, prove himself again, and then reward him with what he's been working so hard for.
Yeah. To your point, Kyle, second, Leon Edwards is just ridiculous. Right. But he's now working his way into the title fight, so we'll see how that one plays out with the whole Leon Edwards fight. But I love the fact that the UFC made this matchup. To your point, the initial matchup happened so young in Bilal's initial UFC run that he has improved just leaps and bounds. And I feel like this matchup, I'm a huge fan. I feel like he's really going to be, he's really on the level of a Kamaru Usman when it comes to the wrestling and stuff like that. Feel like this matchup, though, is an incredibly tough matchup, and I can't wait to see how it plays out for him, because the fact of the matchup, the pressure, he's worked his way up to the top of the division. I can't wait to see him now kind of just continue to showcase those skills that he's worked on.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm with you on that. Well, Devin,
forget, he beat Damian Maya also. That's a feat in itself, dude.
And Damian Maya is arguably like the best jiu-jitsu practitioner ever in MMA history. So to beat Damian Maya, like I said, I have nothing bad to say about that. But like you guys are asking about in the comments, we are getting ready for Mania week. So, Rand, now that you're in here with us, like I let everybody know, like I said, you and I are going to be at night 2. Devin's going to be at night 1 with me, like I said. So if you guys are in the area for WrestleMania or any of that, we'll be at the Busted Open party and all that good stuff too. Come check us out. But with that being said, we were talking about before you got on Shane and STP's big match against the Hitmakers. And we also talked about the attempt at a diss track that Top Dolla or AJ Francis had for STP. What are your thoughts on said diss track, and what stuff are you looking forward to as we go into Mania week?
Yo, I didn't hear the diss track. This is a tough one because I mess with AJ, but Shane's my guy, so I'm STP all day. But I haven't heard the track, so I'll definitely want to play it. But Shane, what did you think? Was it? He hit it right?
I thought it was funny. You know what I mean? Like we were saying. Like, what he was saying was actually mostly positive and mostly factual, right? Like he brought up us having similar goals, mindsets, when it comes to the sport, not letting people run over our name or run over us, And then he threw his jabs about he about to bless us and do this and do that, you know what I mean? But I've been doing this shit for 14 years. There's a lot of motherfuckers who say what they're gonna do to me, and not a lot of them tend to be correct. So that's just par for the course. But it was very entertaining. Very well put together. You could tell, you can see the guy's an incredible entertainer. We're gonna see how good of a fighter he is, though. Come for the culture, because that's what I do best.
There we go. That's what it is. That's all I want to see.
Hey, dude, I'm looking forward to it. Like Donald said, there's as much good shit going on outside of WrestleMania itself. Like I said, I can't wait to get down there myself. But with that being said, something that a couple people have been asking us to talk about on the show, you both would be great people to give your insight on. So a lot of people have been saying they wanted to know our thoughts on Triple H announcing that he retired. I guess my question for both of you guys are, what are your thoughts on Triple H, and what do you think his impact or legacy is going to be on wrestling now that we've heard that he stopped wrestling?
Well, as much as I've had friends be like, "Oh, do you ever really retire in wrestling?" Everybody comes back, but I'm looking at how serious things were with Triple H, and we didn't really know, and now we're like, man, dude was almost out of here. So it's important to take that into perspective and think all right, I really do think this is it. I mean, you can't deny the impact, man. I was a kid coming up. And I'm not gonna lie, I hated this dude's guts, and I think that was on purpose. It was during this, the reign of terror or whatever, and I watched live him lose the title to Chris Jericho at a Raw, and then them reverse the decision, and from then on I was like, man, fuck this dude, and I can remember that anger. So I was just like, I guess he's doing a good job, but I really hate this cat. So from then on, I've just always been I don't like him, but man, truly a legend, man, an absolute legend of the profession, so much inspiration. I think a lot of his impact we're going to see, and we are seeing, I think, through future stars, you know what I'm saying? I think most of the impact we'll see on him is that the effect he's had on guys that are on the come up. So many of the young guys have great moments and memories of conversations with him and inspiration and advice and things like that. So I think that's, to me, in any profession, that's where your legacy comes in. It's not really what you did, as far as your job, but it's who you put on, who you put in position. I think it was, Jay-Z always says oh, you ain't rich just because you made $1 million. It's who else have you made rich? Who else have you put in positions to gain from your experience? And I think that's going to be his legacy. You know what I'm saying? You look at pretty much the present and future of wrestling, they've all come through, getting some tutelage from him. So I feel like that's pretty dope. So I for that reason, I have to respect it. And he'll be missed. I think in that regard, especially, we're okay, no more 30-minute matches at Mania. But the other side of it is he helped a lot of people. So I'm absolutely sure that he'll be missed on the back end of things. So much love, much respect. You know what I'm saying? That's really it. He's a beast.
He is someone. And I saw this on Twitter, and someone said that his out of ring work will eventually far surpass what he did in ring. And I know, and that's meant in the most respectful way possible. And I feel like it already has, right? Mm-hmm. He's an absolute legend in ring, right? We know that. But just like Rand was saying, who do you put in positions to be successful? When you look at the current roster, the main eventers, the people who are right next, right, who got next, those are damn near all his guys. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So we're seeing in present time his effect, and that's only going to continue to go forward. It's only going to continue to grow. And I said it on Twitter. I consider him to be one of those great coaches that you really wish that you could have played for. You know what I mean? That you just go, damn, if I'd have only played for this coach, what they like the position that they could have put me in. Right now, that doesn't mean the situation was gonna work, because there's all kind of other bullshit that comes along with that. But if it was just you able to work with him, right? I feel like he's that Greg Popovich, Bill Belichick type of fucking coach that you're just like, he was going to make you a fucking star. He was going to put you in whatever position you need to be put in to be successful and to maximize your potential. And if you were able to take advantage of all of his knowledge added to yours, you could be able to do something special, right? So that's what I feel like so many people feel about him. Is just like he's such a great coach, such a fountain of knowledge about the sport, about the business side of things, that you can't lose someone like that and be able to fill that gap. That loss is going to be missed for sure. And who knows how big the impact is, but it is going to be very, very hard to fill those shoes and come up with someone that's going to be able to stand in that spot and do what he did.
I can't argue that at all, man.
Max,
go ahead, Corey.
Well,
he truly helped define an era in one of the biggest eras of wrestling, and even now with what he's doing, to your guys' point, with the new crop of wrestlers, he's helping define the modern era as well. So yeah, that's the best way I feel like I can sum it up, is he's really had his hands on wrestling for so long that it's hard to not give your props when it's due.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, and let's not forget his in-ring stuff. I mean, think like he was one of the founding members of DX. Like, that's one thing people don't really talk about these days. You know what I mean? And then the game, all the WrestleMania matches. I mean, fuck him for beating Sting. That's fucked up. But all the WrestleMania matches with Taker, Austin, all the shit with Austin, The Rock, Angle, Mick Foley,
the two-man power trip.
Mick Foley. Dude,
so
you can't take that away from him, dude. He's a legend in the game. That's something that's going to be unmatched. You can't compare anybody to him.
So if we're thinking about it, right, he could legitimately be the only 4-time Hall of Famer, right? So you've got his Hall of Fame singles run, DX, Evolution,
fact,
and then as a coach, as a leader of a backstage, like that lifetime achievement sort of ring that they give out, you're looking at a potential 4-time Hall of Famer. And it'd be warranted. You know what I mean? It would all be earned.
Yeah. And we may not even be looking at the structure of wrestling the same right now if it wasn't for Triple H, because if he didn't start NXT, a lot of things wouldn't be going on right now. You know what I mean? So,
dog, I mean, there's that.
You could go on and on and on about this guy, man. Incredible run.
And to go off of what you said, Jane, I mean, yeah, you can always point to what he did in NXT, but think about how many of those people that he built up in NXT are even killing shit elsewhere now. Think about it. Adam Cole and all of the Undisputed Era now is in AEW. You've got Swerve, who, we're going to see here in a few days, who, now he's with AEW, but he's also doing New Japan and doing all this other stuff. These are all guys that he's had his hands on while they were down there. And like I said, I mean, say what you want about the guy and NXT lost to AEW. I don't think that's any fault of what we saw from Triple H, because I, for one, can tell you that at least before they went to the 2.0, which isn't bad, it's not the same thing, though, as the black and gold. I went to 3 or 4 takeovers, and they were legitimately 4 of the most fun fucking shows I've ever been to. Because it felt a lot like what you would watch when you were younger, with a new school flair to it when you think about it. Like, I still, in my room over there, got SummerSlam 98 on tape from when him and The Rock had the ladder match at the Garden, and then you think about WrestleMania 18, where he had the thing against Jericho at WrestleMania, where they had to follow up Hulk Hogan, and they were the ones in the main event. I mean, there's just so many things you can think of with Triple H. I mean, I came up right in the groove of that era. So Triple H was definitely always somebody I had my mind on. And that's not even including all the memorable entrances and shit that he had too. Yeah. Like, that guy had some of the best fucking entrances ever, with like Motorhead, with, the bike and all the shit. But like you guys said, his overall impact to what he's going to leave on wrestling, I feel like nobody's really going to be able to understand what that is until until we're 20 years even from now. Because I feel like every time you turn around, you don't hear anybody say anything bad as far as, oh, well, Hunter really didn't, help me in NXT. I've heard very few of those, and a lot more people that were in NXT that said, Hunter really went above and beyond to try to help people. Now, there's always the cases outside of that. Those are all things that you have to take into account when you're talking about a guy like him.
For sure.
I mean, yeah, 100%.
Legend, Mike, no question, a legend.
Still wish he would have lost the thing, though.
He should have lost the Booker.
I'm not going to lie.
He should have lost the Booker. He should have lost the Booker for the world title.
I'll never forget that. He should have lost the Booker.
That part.
But, it's what it is.
Hey, for the record,
Devin was just talking about that in the comments.
Record.
What happened?
Yeah, he does have the worst WrestleMania record, though. So, hey, it is what it is.
That's fair.
Like, people talk a lot about the shovel and he buried guys. Like, he lost more than he won in the big matches, So there's that.
And he
didn't have to beat Sting or Booker, but whatever.
Facts, Donald. Facts, man. Facts. Nobody else had the balls to do that.
All right. Well, enough talking about dudes' balls right now. We're going into WrestleMania. Here, I want to know what some of your guys' thoughts are. How are you two feeling about Stone Cold coming back? Because I know for me, that's one of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to Mania weekend. So I'd love to hear both of your guys' thoughts as far as Stone Cold coming back. And what do you think we're going to see out of this? Do you think we're going to see a match? Do you think it's something where they're going to do the KO show and some shit pops off and they do something night two? But I, for one, can say, like I said, I grew up an Austin kid. So like I said, for him to be coming back to the ring after watching WrestleMania 19, 20 years ago, I feel like they almost got to give a match. But I'd love to hear both of you guys' thoughts on Stone Cold coming back.
Okay, so I don't think it has to be a match. I feel like people will feel like they got their money's worth more if it is. So if they go that route, I don't feel like this needs to be more than maybe 6 to 8 minutes.
That's what I said.
I don't think you drag it out. I think you let him get his entrance. You come out, KO does his thing, fucks him up for a little bit, talks a lot of shit, gets that Luthez press. You get that big fiery baby face Austin comeback, fucking kick, stun, hit all the fucking the fucking to the rope elbow fucking finger thing, all the fucking give them the greatest hits, right? You give them the greatest hits. That's what people want to see. You end with the fucking stunner. Beer fucking party, you know what I'm saying? Beer celebration. Get my boy Mark Yeaton back out there for another fucking run. Toss them motherfuckers, you know what I mean? And you just give people that one last, we saw Stone Cold open up a can of whoop ass fucking feeling, and it'll be a successful fucking night.
I agree. This doesn't need to be any more than 5 to 6 minutes, and we're going to be happy. Like, give us what we want. All the greatest hits and take them out. We don't need a full match. We don't need, we'll see you tomorrow for a tag team match. And
No.
I didn't say any of that. Even if I saw a match, I'm like he said, I literally have said 6 to 8 minutes is like the perfect window.
Like give them 6 to 8 minutes. That'll make us very happy. Last Mania in Dallas, I think they did something similar. I think he stunned the New Day or something, right?
Right.
Like, I think so. So, like, just give me that. Like, come out, beer, stunners, moves, and that's it. The music hits 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. That's it. But like, don't overextend this guy. He's been out the business 19 years. Like, let him chill. Nice. Like, give him, let's get us one last moment and keep it moving.
And it can legitimately be, because you're gonna have, I feel like you're gonna get that Austin the Rock Hogan moment there with KO and Austin, and I feel like you get a minute or so of that. Let KO do his shit, and a lot of this can be for the next 3-4 minutes him just getting his ass whipped, right? Yeah. Fucking Austin just getting beat down, right? He's been out of the game, what I'm saying? KO dominating him, and then what I'm saying? There it is, bang. And then it's the Austin of old. Do your shit. Get that. Pow. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3. Building goes fucking nuts.
That's
and we good to go.
Everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy.
Yep.
Well, let me ask you this, Shane. That's a good question to go off of that. Is like, so with you still being in the game and doing everything you're doing, man, I mean, like, how are you when it comes to WrestleMania? Do you find yourself still being like, yo, this shit's gonna be dope, or I'm looking forward to see whatever, or is it kind of just I'll watch it and see what they're doing, or are you still really looking forward to things on certain cards, whether that's WWE or anywhere else?
I think as it now for the last, at least for the last 5 or 6, I've been so busy during it. I don't really get a chance to enjoy it. I have gotten to attend a few, so it's always that is a different feeling when you're in the venue, right? And you're watching it than just watching it at home, right? Because you get to immerse yourself in the experience. So I'm always looking forward to it, and especially, as I study it, you try to pattern your habits after whatever the top guys are doing, right? Because whatever they're doing is working because they're there, right? So you always try to study what they do and things like that. So I'm anxious. This is a big fight feel with Brock and Roman. I'm excited to see where they go with it, what they do. And for me, it's going to be fun just to, sit back and watch and spectate and be a fan.
You got Brock or Roman?
Word.
I feel like that's the tough thing, because I feel like no matter which direction you go, we've seen it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like if Brock wins, right, you have who beats Brock then, right? Like who's next in that line? And then if Roman wins, who the fuck else is left for Roman? Like, I feel like I feel like Brock's got to win this one just to reset Roman a bit, but I don't know. I don't know what's next for either guy.
I'm kind of in the boat, like you said, Rand.
That's a very good perspective, because I came into it thinking like clearly they want Roman to probably break every length of time record with this belt. So, but he's already done that. He's the longest reigning, Universal. But I think they're going for like Hogan records. Like, Hogan had it like 4 years. Like, I think they're going for that.
Oh shit!
Like, that's kind of what I think. I don't know how you keep that fresh. Honestly, you ain't got enough guys.
On some Bruno Sammartino shit.
Yeah,
okay.
Like he has to. But you don't got enough guys for that. Like, who else? Like you said, is next. Like, they ain't got nobody. So they haven't really done good enough job of building up whoever's next in line. So
because the money is Lashley and Lesnar, right?
You would think.
You would have thought that, but they got Lashley.
They kind of blew that. They did it.
Yeah, it keeps getting cut off, man.
And then Lashley just looked at Omos. So I want to fight him now. So I still think that's money either way. But yeah, I don't know, man. There's not enough guys left. So this will be a hard reset. Whoever wins, I think, because you got to do a lot of shaking up to figure it out.
On that match, I've been so back and forth just with how intriguing the story is. It's been so good, but like you said, if Brock wins, what's next for Brock? I mean, I guess Lashley again, maybe. But if Roman wins, I really think they're trying to go for something bigger with Roman.
Like I think he holds on to it till next WrestleMania and faces.
That's what I was going to say. I think we might get a little foreshadowing in the next year's Mania, which would be fine too. But you got to make it intriguing for the next year.
Okay, so question, right? So do they wait and then maybe try bringing in The Rock?
That's what I was thinking is going to happen.
That's what I think.
I think he holds on to it, and they do The Rock at L.A. I really do. Yeah.
And the question is, do you do what you did with Rock and Cena? Do you bring it up early, like you have Rock show up at the end of the night and like, I'll see you in a year
before then? Because like you said, there's not enough. To me, there's not enough bodies to keep Roman going. If they are going to go that route and you have to go a whole nother year with him being a champion, you like Shane just said. I mean, there's not Shane and Rand, you've said this. We've said this multiple times. It just ain't nobody. And I feel like that's the only way you can do it. You have to hype it. And you saw how well that did for him when they did the thing with Rock and Cena. Everybody was waiting for it. I think if you have The Rock come out, even hell, I doubt he's going to come out on the Raw after Mania, but if you have him show up around, I don't know, what's a good halfway point? I don't know, SummerSlam, something like that. have some kind of promo, something like that, and then start it from there. But I agree. If that is the route they're going to go, that's the only way it goes. But as far as who wins, I love Brock, and I like this whole new happy Brock, which we've never really seen before, and him talking on his own. I've enjoyed it. But that being said, something just tells me it's got to be Roman on this one. J-Bo and Corey, go ahead and make your picks if you want.
Yeah, I agree. He's built up too much kind of momentum, I guess, to feel as though as big of a star as Brock is, for him to just kind of come in and take everything that Roman's kind of got this snowball to roll. I feel like it would just be a mistake on WWE's part. To everybody's point here, I mean, yeah, there's not a ton of matchups really when you look at both of them, but I feel like what makes the most sense emotional wise would be to continue the reign. Would be my guess.
J-Bone, you think we get a new? You think Roman or Brock?
I think Roman. I really do. I think, like I said, I think they're trying to prolong that. We got a long way to go, man. It's just what's going to be interesting is how we're going to get to next year's Mania with that, and the payoff. What is the payoff? Is it worth the payoff? Because we all know The Rock's pretty damn busy. So, do we build?
Who knows that they've even guaranteed he's coming or not? You know what I mean?
It's still not
like
that's
all
hypothetical. If that's the case, do we build him all the way up just to hit The Rock, and then go back down? Or does he get all the way up, beat the great one? What happens? It's all about what happens next, I guess.
And here's the question that I have though too. What made Rock and Cena work so well is the title wasn't even like, from what I remember, the title didn't come in until like later on, right? Because like then every other title match you have before then is almost meaningless because it's not, what I mean? Like you already know the result prior to. But it's got to be one. If they announce that, maybe there's a point in time at which Roman does lose it. You know what I mean? Then he's got to get it back in order to make this happen, or some kind of like. I'm sure they'll think of something, right? But
putting the WrestleMania main event in jeopardy,
right?
Like,
and it's like, oh shit, well, we got to do this. You know what I mean? And then through nefarious means or whatever he's got to do to reclaim, his shit. Now we've got. Now he's got the fucking what he needs. And then if we're really thinking about it, right, say he does lose it prior to that. That is his sort of reset. Then he gets it back. Then he's able to face The Rock. And then once he beats The Rock, then elevate even higher without it being this constant, you know what I mean? Like you're able to kind of go on that little journey and then go even further. So
it's like
who knows?
The dip. It's still giving you.
It's a little dip. You know what I mean? But you're still going the same direction.
Hopefully it's a fun ride, man. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, it's been a hell of a ride so far. I like it.
Yeah, they've done a great job, I think, hyping this up. I didn't think I would care about Brock and Roman again, but they've done it. They switched everything up. It's really been interesting. I feel like the rest of the card has kind of suffered, though, because there's not a lot of hype with everything else. But that main event is hyped. I mean, they talking about biggest match ever. It really feels like that.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I've always been a fan of one champion. Like, even though when they did the brand split, I always liked when the champion was able to go to both brands. Cause like, to me, like, I feel like then you go through these spurts where like clearly right now the Universal Championship meant more with Roman Reigns, but now that Brock has the WWE Championship, that's helping bring that one back up a little bit, where I always have liked, when you had the one champion. An area where I think that's being shown a lot too is, and I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this one next. We have Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey. I mean, I was there when they had that was the last Mania that I went to live, where they had the whole main event with them and Becky and all that stuff. And I've heard a lot of people just saying how they weren't the biggest fans of this run for them. So how are you guys thinking about this Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey thing, and how do you see it playing out?
I think it's been pretty well, set up. I think I like the attitude from everybody. The whole like, oh, you can't make Ronda tap. Like, I dig it. I hope the match lives up to it. But I think it's been a good build up. It's been considering. I mean, they've been. I don't know how with the time they put having these shows is 3 hours on Monday, 2 hours on Friday to hype all these matches. So, but considering all that, I think they've done a decent job of hyping this match. I would like to see it. You know, I was about to say like, oh, this should be the night one main event, but then I'm like, well, I feel like Bianca and Becky kind of deserve that. Maybe, I don't know, but it's a good story, and it's a good match. I think it'll be interesting because we know the last time Ronda got into a main event like picture, they wound up making it a triple threat, you know, to make it kind of, you know, even things out. So now with her one-on-one, like I don't know. I just hope Charlotte don't embarrass her. I guess that's really what it is. Like I want a good match. I don't want it to look like somebody's just running a clinic on you and you just can't do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like she can't keep up. So I really hope she can keep up.
I mean, I feel just about the same way that you do. I think I'm going to pivot on the embarrassing her part. Not that I want to see her embarrassed. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, I feel like in a situation, Ronda has enough legitimate skill to go, I'm not about to let you do that. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, let's go ahead and relax. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say, let's not forget that she could fuck up anybody on that roster. I'm just saying.
I mean, potentially, right? Potentially. You know, it is what it is.
Or at least if they fought some, it would be a tough fight. But there's only a select few I can think of that I really think would give her any smoke.
I do feel like that both of them will live up to this and exceed expectation. They're two pros, two pioneers of their sports, and they're going to put on a show. I think the level of expectation for themselves is high, and I think they'll match that. You know what? The one thing, not speaking of though, like fighting and wrestling. The one thing that I hate that nobody talks about or nobody brings up is like real life shit that happened in the UFC that we all know. Like, why has nobody talked about Alistair Overeem in a fucking promo with Brock before?
Yeah,
that's a damn.
Like, why? Dude. You know what I mean? Like Cain Velasquez was there for a while. You know what I mean? And that was like, oh shit, they about to bring it up. It's a credible threat to Brock, and then that didn't happen, right? But I'm like. If that was me, like the first thing I'd be like, what? You about to do what? Well, I call Alistair Overeem in here right now. Whoop that ass. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that would be something that you would say. You know what I mean?
Because when Cain was there, they did touch on that they fought in UFC and it was the only man to beat Brock, and then you're right. They never brought up Overeem. They still
it's like question. He's not the only man to beat Brock.
Facts, Donald.
Free Cain beat Brock.
Free Cain.
You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah, free Cain.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I've always just wondered about that. Like, are we acting like none of this happened? Are we acting like people don't know this happened? Like,
it's everybody about playing these games with that shit, dude.
Dog, I would be talking about Amanda Nunes. I would be talking about Holly Holm. I would be talking about
right. About to kick your head off like Holly.
Right. They do that shit. You know what? This is gonna take one head kick. I saw you over there like doing impressions and shit. I saw you laid the fuck out. Like I saw that. You know what I mean? Like why would you not?
They do
I
that
wonder
shit
if they tell them don't do it. Man. Like no, we want this person to look strong. So I wonder if they tell them like don't bring that up. I have no idea.
But people
I think
know
they do for sure.
But people know.
Think about it. It's the same thing with Braun Breaker and the fucking Steiners going into the Hall of Fame. How are you going to have a whole package talking about their legacy and all this stuff about all the great things they did, which again, we're from Michigan, so I'm a big Steiner Brothers fan. But you went through their whole legacy. How do you not talk about the fact that his legacy is continuing? And you already brought Rick out to the ring when he won the fucking belt. I just thought that was kind of dumb.
And wouldn't that, like, as I'm sure he goes to the main roster at some point, you build him as this second generation guy? Like, wouldn't that be a thing?
You would think so.
I would think so.
You would think so. Again, common sense would tell you that. Well, all right. Obviously, we're not going to be able to make it out through the whole card, so I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on a couple of the other big ones. Another thing that I'm really looking forward to at Mania for me is Edge versus AJ Styles. Obviously, I came up on Edge. I've watched AJ since his early TNA days and Ring of Honor and all that stuff. But a lot of people have shit on Edge's, new look and all that stuff. I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to shit on it. Number one, I like the fact that they got him another real theme song because he had one of the most recognizable theme songs that WWE's ever had. So the fact that they actually got Alter Bridge to do another song for him, I like that part. I like the fact that he looks completely different than he did with, the Rated R Superstar and all that stuff too. And I like the fact that it's also kind of like bringing that dog out of AJ too. I feel like this match is going to be one of the matches that we're saying could have stole, one of the nights of WrestleMania. But I think AJ Styles probably gets the dub in this one. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about Edge and AJ Styles and the build and the new theme song and all that good shit.
Well, I think it's been a great build. I think that the match should be probably my favorite of the night. I think. Yeah, I'm a big fan of both of these guys. Well, to be honest, I'm an older generation wrestling fan, so and I've stepped in and out. So I gotta be fully honest. I'm not a huge Edge fan because when I stopped watching wrestling, Edge was a tag team guy, and then I came back and I'm like, what? He's the man? Like, come on, he was behind Gangrel, So it was weird for me to start taking him seriously as a main eventer. But then when I watched him go, I was like, all right, he can work. AJ, I've been on since the beginning, so I've been a huge fan of him forever. And so yeah, I think this is gonna be a great match. I think AJ, I guess, needs to win more, so to speak. I mean, I don't know. I hate to think about these in terms of like what's needed and what's gonna happen. But
yeah, right.
I feel like Edge doesn't lose any clout losing this match. You know what I mean? Like if he goes out there and like kills it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the fact that he's even around and able to do this is great, So so yeah, I'm looking forward to a great match, but I think AJ can, if that makes any sense, I think AJ can kind of elevate him and make this even better, So I think this is the perfect opponent for him.
Man, it's spot on. And I think like once I really start to think about it from like a fighter perspective, from a combat sports perspective, right? I feel like there's definitely more stuff that I'm sure that they want to do with AJ. And I feel like there's certain guys at this point in their career are bulletproof, right? I feel like Edge is one of those guys, right? Where if he goes out, kills it, and loses, he's fine, right? It helps AJ. But then when you think about it from a character perspective, all this did, like, Edge wins regardless, whether he actually wins the match or he pushes AJ to this point that, he finds that dog, he finds that he reignites that AJ fire that we all know is there. Like, he still wins mentally, right? Because he was able to push him there, right? So I feel like regardless of the outcome, Edge wins. And it's a dub for him, right? And you give AJ the boost, and you have two guys now. You have two guys who can go out there and then go work with whoever, and are still very much in that main event level.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I agree completely with you on that one. Whenever you're at that stage in your career and you've put in, I guess, that many miles in the WWE and have built up the respect that you deserve to this point, whenever you can still have WrestleMania matches, even if it does end up where the other person's successful and comes out with the dub, and you're, as long as you are still able to put on a great showcase, especially in that stage of your career, that's all you can really ask for, man. You still have that spotlight. You're still on the marquee matchup of the year, being WrestleMania. That's all you can ask for.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Yeah, like I said, man, there's a lot of things, even though people are saying that they're like that I've still enjoyed. Well, the last thing I got to ask you about, Shane, before we get out of here, because I've had about 6 people comment about it at this point. Devin, you said you're looking forward to all of us linking up. Well, one of the places us and Shane will link up is at WaleMania. So I heard I saw your post a little bit ago talking about how it meant a lot for you guys to be on WaleMania. So tell me a little bit about that. It's one of the things I'm looking forward to most. I've heard about it. I've heard about all the other ones. I've yet to get to go to one. That was one of the things, as soon as I told Devin I was coming down there, that had to be he said that had to be one of the things we hit. So since I know it's got a spot for you, what are your thoughts on WaleMania?
I'm excited, dog. Like, I went to it a couple years ago, paid my ticket to get in and just was able to watch, all these guys on stage. And I told myself then, gonna be on that stage. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how, but I'm gonna be up there. You know, and so to be able to do everything that we've done with the creation of STP, taking over ROH, you know, completely dominating a space and a company that so many people didn't want us to be successful in, and to be recognized by, you know, someone the caliber of Wale and his team to be one of the first names that they brought up when they were putting this together as to bring in guests, that, you know, that we're very proud of that. So it's going to be really special for us to be up on that stage and just, you know, in an event that is just, you know, so fun for everybody that's going to be there. It has a special meaning for us, you know, especially being Black and entertainers, to have, you know, to be a part of this. So I'm excited, man, and it's going to be something that's going to be one of those core memories going forward, of just cool stuff that I was able to be a part of.
Can't argue that, dude. I've been looking forward to seeing it, man. It's definitely one of the things that I'm most looking forward to, too. Like I said, Devin already said it in the comments. We're looking forward to linking up with both y'all this weekend down in Dallas. Like I said, I will be there Thursday to Tuesday. If you guys are in the area and you see anybody from Knockouts and 3 Counts, come say what up, but don't say shit about my arms not being as big as they look in the camera. Again, assholes. But with that being said, it's a real life story right now, and Corey knows it's a fact. Dude, but that being said, I'm looking forward to Mania weekend. I'm looking forward to linking up with both of you gentlemen. Before we get out of here, I got a few shout outs I got to throw out. Shout out to past guest of the show, Austin Bashy, who's getting ready to take that Shamrock FC fucking belt this weekend. Go get your money, young dog. And on top of that, our boy Scoops, who I got to tell you, you know, when your cousin fought the last time, I tried to tell him Belal Muhammad was the way to go, and Anthony Scoops Fleming owed us some motherfucking push-ups. Well, he did his push-ups. He's getting ready to step back in the cage at the April 8th at Motor City Casino, as well as, dude, there's so many guys, like, that's the crazy thing with the Michigan fight scene, dude. There's so many cats that I've known since I was, like, 13. Like, matter of fact, to be honest, one of the biggest fights I'm looking forward to on that whole card is our boy Eric the Dragon Schellenberger getting back in there. Dude, I remember sparring with this dude when I was only like 15 years old, and this motherfucker is about to step back in the cage April 8th. Like I said, I want to see the homie go in and get a dub. I'm ready to see somebody get their ass whipped in Dallas and then come back here and see it right in my hometown. So shout out to you guys. Go get them dubs. Get that Shamrock FC belt. Rand, Shane, I'll let both of you guys plug anything else you want to throw before we get out of here.
Word. Oh, man. I got a new single coming out, a tribute to Scott Hall. It's dropping April 1st. Say bye to the bad guy. That is coming on all of the digital service providers. Look for that. Myself, G1 to the beat. So that's coming. I'll be in Dallas for Mania activities starting Sunday. But before that, I'll be in Louisiana playing a couple gigs and doing a talk at Louisiana Tech. So if you're around, come through. That's gonna be dope. And yeah, man, looking forward to just this is the time for wrestling fans to celebrate, to unite, and to have a good time. So go to all the indie shows, see all the good stuff, man, and support indie wrestling. That's really it.
Shane?
And as always, at Shane216 Taylor, Twitter and Instagram. Definitely come holler at me, at the boys, at WaleMania, at For the Culture, at VIP Mania, at the Mania Club, tailgate. We're gonna be everywhere the whole week. And like Rand said, man, this whole week should be a celebration of people who love this sport, love this industry, love being around and being a part of wrestling. Keep whatever negative bullshit you got to your fucking self. Enjoy your day. Have a good day. And just like Tab at the Brown says, if you can't have a good day, don't fuck up somebody else's.
Very good point.
Man, that's a perfect way to end that shit. I'm just glad that now these teeth are out, that I can fucking actually do my thing down there, dude. Because, man, they've been fucking around with this wisdom teeth stuff, dude. Got me over here looking like, you know, I was making jokes about this at work today. I have no shame in admitting, because I had nuts enough to get in the boxing ring. So anybody who's got anything to say about it, fuck y'all. but anything. I've been knocked out before, and I never have even gotten, like, I never had bruises on my face. This shit's got me looking like somebody just fucking blasted my jaw on both sides.
At least
like,
you did,
when you can see the bruise through my beard,
turned into a puffer fish, man. Some people, when they get them wisdom teeth pulled, the cheeks come out.
I was expecting you to be like this when I see you today.
At least you
can see the bruising through my beard. That's pretty bad when you got a beard and you can still see my fucking cheeks.
Hey, the ladies love bruises, man.
How about the other guy?
Off, though, before we do our sign off, we got our multiple time past guest, friend of the show, Josh Frem, finally got his announcement for his debut in the UFC. Shout out, Josh Frem, making the debut, jumping in on short notice on the pay-per-view upcoming in 2 weeks, taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. So it should be a hell of a scrap, man. I'm extremely excited for not just the matchup, but for what Frem's career could be going into.
Go shock the world, big dog. Go shock the world.
Right.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Get it.
Hey, like he said, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because a little birdie Mike told me that he might have something to say before that fight. So, like I said, in the next time and in the in-between time, like I said, I can't wait to get to Dallas, and fuck your couch. Peace.